Hey guys, what is up? Mellow Mage here, bringing you guys another gameplay commentary. Sorry if I sound stuffed up, it's because I'm fighting some strep throat. I actually would have done this commentary much more sooner, but, you know, strep throat's a motherfucker, and sometimes you have difficulty talking. So I hope I can do this all in one take, and I don't have to do multiple takes. But, you'll notice also that I kind of start this one a little early, this gameplay here, which is King of the Hill on the Slab. It was, oh god, I think it was roughly 20 minutes long, which for YouTube, I think the video limit's 15, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna cut this bitch on down. So if you're wondering why it starts kind of really middle of the match, that's why I just went ahead and jumped right onto it, just to save a little time. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right on into this and get this goddamn shindig started for you guys. I'm going to be somewhat provocative here, and maybe potentially a little thought-provoking, just a little bit, and give you guys an alternative, idea. I think what Judgment could have been, what could have made it a little bit better, in my opinion, or what Epic was better off doing. I've been thinking, for the past day or two, is Gears of War ruined? Is it forever changed because of Judgment? Is Judgment a sign of things to come? Is this what we have to look forward to on the new Xbox in terms of another Gears of War title? And I hope and pray. I mean, I'm one of these people. I know some people genuinely like Judgment. I'm not gonna sit there and say they're wrong or anything. It's just I honestly prefer Gears 3 as opposed to what Judgment has done. It's just, I mean, it isn't the fact that, I mean, for one, it has more maps, but there's a reason why Judgment doesn't have as many maps on regular multiplayer as Judgment does, or Gears 3 has more maps than Judgment does. See, I'm fucked up because the strep throats cut me a little slack. I'm all fucked up. But anyways, I mean, some of this isn't Judgment's fault. I mean, this is really a lot of this is really on Epic. But what I want to get to is, and this is the thought-provoking part here, I'm getting right to it. What if Epic had grew a pair of balls? And, just, bear with me here. What if on the day that when Judgment was announced, what if Epic had, instead of saying, here's Gears Judgment, what if they had just decided, when they were making this game, they just decided to focus purely on Overrun, that entire framework? What I mean is, that class-based structure of, Ragers, Grenadiers on the Locust side, and Engineers and Soldiers on the COG side. Just giving an example, you have that fixed, weapon set for each class, and, obviously throwing more game types. And hear me out before, you guys, send me a message saying, you're a fucking idiot, shut the fuck up, Mage, I don't want to hear your fucking opinion ever again. Please bear with me. I mean, this is just, just a thought. and what if Epic had decided to go with that, and of course, add more game types, because regular Overrun would get pretty fucking boring if that was the case. But maybe they throw in a Capture the Flag or some other kind of game type that goes with Overrun and that class type. They could have made more maps for the game. It would have been fine for them not to be making symmetrical maps. I mean, look, that's one of the complaints right now with Judgment. Not enough symmetrical maps. And I think part of it is some people just miss the old maps. But, I'm sorry, guys, I'm just really messed up. But, they could afford to go with the current map style they have for Overrun and continue doing that, and it would have been fine. I mean, the Overrun maps are relatively simple for the most part, but they could have made more maps from the start. They would have had more content available. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, it would have been a flat-out, knockdown, drag-out, way better game than what we have now, but you certainly would have had a far more healthier player population. I mean, just look right now. I think last I checked, there were only a few hundred people that are playing certain game types, whereas if you go to Gears 3, I think you have roughly, 1,500 people playing King of the Hill, just given that as an example. And I think there's barely that playing TDM and in Judgment. I mean, that's just a rough estimate, guys. I mean, there's something wrong here where people have just said, fuck Judgment, I'm going back to 3. And I honestly believe part of it is they don't have enough content there. They don't have enough maps. And I feel like if they had just gone with Overrun and maybe build the game completely around that, stick to that framework, and this is why I say that, they would have had, and I talked about in a previous commentary, how, part of the reason Gears 3, it's not gonna out Call of Duty. It's not gonna beat Halos or Medal of Honors. I mean, those games are just more popular, bottom line. Now, you could say for various reasons why they're more popular, but bottom line, they are always going to have a larger market share than Gears 3. Not Gears 3, but Gears of War in general. Gears of War is a niche game. It's always had a certain kind of consumer. Whereas Call of Duty, I guess, is more widespread, more mainstream. And Gears of War has always held that little, slither of the market. And that's really what made it stand out. It was so unique. That's what got me into it. And if they had gone this route, they had gone to just straight up sticking with Overrun, it would have been still a very unique Gears experience. And bear in mind, if they had also gone this route, they could have came out from the very beginning to, loyal Gears fans and say, hey, we're intending for this game to handle differently. We're intending for it to be much different than any other previous Gears game. They had done that. I don't think as many people like myself would. When I played Judgment, I admit I tried to have an open mind when playing it, but I'll be honest, when I got to playing Domination, I got to playing TDM, I was comparing it to Gears 3. I mean, from the start. Now, of course, I was liking it in the beginning, but that was because it was a new game thing, I guess. But, like I said, I apologize for the strep throat, guys. It's just hard for me to talk. But, anyways, I don't think as many fans like myself wouldn't have been comparing it from the very beginning. People would have played it with a much more open mind. They would have looked at the game much more differently. They would have gave it a more of a chance. Now, like I said, I'll admit, if they had gone this route, I probably wouldn't be playing it now, but I probably would have been playing it a lot longer. The point is this game, it would have been more unique. You wouldn't have turned off more Gears fans than you already have. I mean, right now you have more Gears fans playing Gears 3 than Judgment. And that's not all new people playing Gears 3. It's just people like myself just got sick of Judgment for various reasons. But Gears Judgment, it probably could have grown the fan base more also if they had pursued that choice, that route. And like I said, they couldn't, you couldn't do it all based with the basic Overrun game type that we have in Judgment now. They would have had to have done different game types. Like I said, maybe they could have done a capture the flag. Maybe they could have done a defend the objective kind of thing for Overrun for each class. Or each side, I mean. And it probably could have been more successful. And, and they may, if they had gone that route, they probably could have pulled in, maybe they could have grown the fan base a little bit more. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say it would have been flat out better, but they would have had more content because, you could have used all the maps from Overrun, made more maps like that. They could have had a far more better bang for the buck. I mean, because when you pay $60, all you got were 4 maps for each game type, Overrun and regular multiplayer. And it just was not as fun. I mean, it got boring after a while. I mean, yeah, first day the game was out, I didn't mind it at all. I was enjoying it for the most part. But after the, I think, second or third day, I mean, the game, I began to notice some of the flaws in this game. It really started to bother me a little bit. I mean, some of that new game smell, I guess is the best way to put it, that new game feel began to wear off on me. And I seen what made this game so ugly to me. And, I mean, Judgment, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and rip on it, but the basic, I mean, they didn't offer a very unique experience when you bought this game and played it. And, you look at the center of the screen aiming, Faded Reticle, they're basically trying to appeal to the Halo fans, the Call of Duty fans, so they got something they can, jump over to, and, some of their skill set can transfer over to Gears Judgment. They've dumbed the game down. They could have avoided that. They could have focused purely on Overrun. Like I said, they would have been maybe tough coming up with different game types to make the game more unique, or give you, variety. But they could have had something there, I felt. I mean, that was the potential I felt with Overrun. That was one of the only main reasons I bought Judgment. I had reservations, when before it came out still. I mean, you look at any previous commentary I had issues with Judgment. I still had problems with it. I mean, I wasn't completely sold on regular multiplayer. And Overrun was the only thing I was really willing to try out. And I still feel, I mean, Overrun is a great game type. It's just, the same thing that hurts Overrun is what's hurting all of Judgment. Lack of content. You only have so few maps. The game can only hold your attention so long. And it really is. It's really, tragic almost. And like I said, they could have probably grown the fan base by going with what I was suggesting. Focusing purely on Overrun. They could have been honest with the fan base and saying, hey, we're intending for this game to play differently. And maybe they could have said, hey, we're going to make more Gears games like the original trilogy. And, so don't think this is us selling you guys out. They could have made Judgment like a spin-off kind of series. And they could have continued, with another Gears game on the next Xbox that would have been more like the Gears trilogy. Alright, guys, this commentary is coming to an end. Like I said, I'm sorry, guys, if I sound really messed up and I'm coughing. I got strep throat, and I got to do a commentary just to be regular. And also, sorry if I rambled and just didn't make no sense. Cold medicine does that to you. I'm kind of really tired right now. So, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Is it true? Do the humans actually hope to survive much longer?